Early history. The earliest inhabitants of Cameroon were probably the Baka Pygmies. They still inhabit the forests of the south and east provinces. One Bantu speakers originating in the Cameroonian highlands were among the first groups to move out before other invaders. The Mandara Kingdom in the Mandara Mountains was founded around 1500 and erected fortified structures, the purpose and exact history of which are still unresolved. The Ero Confederacy of Nigeria had presence in western later called British Cameroon due to trade and migration in the 18th and 19th centuries. During the late 1770s and the early 19th century, the Fulani, a pastoral Islamic people of the Western Sahel, conquered most of what is now northern Cameroon, subjugating or displacing its largely non-Muslim inhabitants. Although the Portuguese arrived on Cameroon's doorstep in the 16th century, malaria prevented significant European settlement and conquest of the interior until the late 1870s, when large supplies of the malaria suppressant, quinine, became available. The early European presence in Cameroon was primarily devoted to coastal trade and the acquisition of slaves. The northern part of Cameroon was an important part of the Muslim slave trade network. The slave trade was largely suppressed by the mid-19th century. Christian missionaries established a presence in the late 19th century and continue to play a role in Cameroonian life. Beginning on July 5, 1884, all of present-day Cameroon and parts of several of its neighbours became a German colony, Cameroon, with a capital first at Buea, and later at Yaoundé. The Imperial German government made substantial investments in the infrastructure of Cameroon, including the extensive railways, such as the 160-meter single-span railway bridge on the South Sanaga River branch. Hospitals were opened all over the colony, including two major hospitals at Douala, one of which specialized in tropical diseases the Germans had discovered. The 1912 wrote in an official report in 1919 that the population of Cameroon had increased significantly. However, the indigenous peoples proved reluctant to work on these projects, so the Germans instigated a harsh and unpopular system of forced labor. In fact, Jesko von Puttkamer was relieved of duty as governor of the colony due to his untoward actions toward the native Cameroonians. In 1911 at the Treaty of Fez after the Agadir Crisis, France ceded a nearly 300,000 kilometer portion of the territory of French Equatorial Africa to Cameroon, which became Neukamerun, while Germany ceded a smaller area in the north in present-day Chad to France. In World War I, the British invaded Cameroon from Nigeria in 1914 in the Cameroon Campaign, with the last German fort in the country surrendering in February 1916. After the war, this colony was partitioned between the United Kingdom and France under a June 28, 1919 League of Nations Mandates Class B. France gained the larger geographical share, transferred Neukamerun back to neighboring French colonies, and ruled the rest from Yaoundé as Cameroon French Cameroons. Britain's territory, a strip bordering Nigeria from the sea to Lake Chad, with an equal population, was ruled from Lagos as Cameroon's British Cameroons. German administrators were allowed to once again run the plantations of the southwestern coastal area. A British parliamentary publication, Report on the British Sphere of the Cameroons, May 1922, p. 62-8, reports that the German plantations there were as a whole wonderful examples of industry, based on solid scientific knowledge. The natives have been taught discipline, and have come to realize what can be achieved by industry. Large numbers who return to their villages, take up cocoa or other cultivation on their own account, thus increasing the general prosperity of the country.